So why do people not have success in manifesting what they want? Well, obviously, first thing is they don't know what they want. So I've already tried to clear that up. You have to get clear about what you want. That's step number one. Well, I guess step zero would be you have to be clear that manifesting what you truly want is essential. Because if you're not on board with that, then you'll stay stuck and not actually take any steps. Okay, but then step one is you have to know what you want. And then step two is you have to consistently put your attention on that and in your imagination. Don't worry about what's happening externally, because what's happening externally is just the result of your old habit. But you want to form the new habit, which means you have to keep your attention internal on what you want in your imagination. Okay, so these are the fundamental steps. Accept that it's good to fulfill your true desire. Next step is get clear on what your true desire is. Next step is keep your attention on that. So most people fail because they don't do those things. I mean, that's just the truth. No question about it. But let's say you're doing all those things and you are still you're still struggling, whatever it is that you're wanting is still, you don't feel satisfied, you're still struggling in ways. Okay, well, now here's, the little known things that are holding you back. I will suggest to you that in some sense, all the polarities are connected. So all of them have a certain kind of, there's a relationship, like all of them, there's a positive and a negative pole, and the positives and the negatives of all the poles kind of have a connection with one another in this sense, that if you hold on to the negative pole, to any negative pole, it will tie you down, weigh you down, and you will have a tendency to have your attention sucked back into the negative pole of the thing that you're not wanting, right? So you're wanting, in the example, love or abundance or whatever, health. And you're doing all this work every day, and hopefully you're seeing some progress, some improvement, but it's still, you're not feeling, it's not, you're stuck in some way. Well, here's very likely, if you're doing all the other things that I've talked about, very likely a big part of what's holding you back is that you're still stuck in some other negative polarity. And the mind likes to compartmentalize things, and it says, oh, well, what does that doesn't matter. Who cares? It's like, so I want abundance. What does that have to do with me being resentful that my father was, treated me badly? What does that have to do with me feeling, victimized by my second grade teacher because they treated me unfairly? What does that have to do with whatever? The mind likes, like I say, likes to compartmentalize things and say, oh, it's that has nothing to do with it. I pay attention to that. But what I'm telling you is that there's a linkage there. So the truth is, you cannot afford to hold on to those things, because it's like we'll use a metaphor of a car. You're wanting to drive your car somewhere. So you're putting your foot on the accelerator to take you to where you want to go. Great. You're doing all these other things. Wonderful. But you're putting your other foot very heavily on the brake when you're holding on to all these other things that are also negative polarities. So again, your mind says, oh, well, what does that have to do with anything? I just want financial abundance. How could that possibly be related to the resentments or grievances or blame or shame or regrets or guilt or all of these things? How could that possibly be related? Well, it is. So, and you can put it to the test and find out. So here's the deal. This will help you enormously no matter what. This was the thing that I I had an enormous, like 11 years ago, I had just an enormous shift in my life. And I attribute it A, entirely to divine grace, because that's always the truth, and B, to the fact that divine grace moved me to do what I'm about to tell you, which is forgive and let go of everything that hurts you, because you cannot afford to hold on to that stuff. So make a list of anything and everything where you have any kind of bad feeling about it at all. And every day, go through that list and spend just a few minutes to let go, forgive, release, and heal that stuff. And you don't have to go through all of it because it's probably going to be a long list. I mean, for some of you, it will be a short list because you've already done a lot of the healing. But for some people, you'll be surprised. It's going to be a very long list. So you're not going to go through it all every day, but you could choose one, take a few minutes, right? And just say, look, whatever this is, whoever it is with, I don't want this hurt anymore. I let go, I forgive, I bless, I love, and I release it to the divine so that the divine can take care of it and bless everybody on their path of truth to their greatest good. May all beings be well. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be healthy. May all beings know love. Okay. You just, so whoever it is, if you've got some stuff there, with your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather, your aunts, your uncles, your neighbors, your teachers, your friends, your enemies, your bosses, your employees, now, in the past, distant past, whatever, just be willing to forgive and let go and bless and turn it over to the divine to take care of it in the best possible way. You don't want that burden any longer. And I promise you, if you do that sincerely, you will see huge changes, huge changes. And you might see them very quickly. It might take a little while. It might take a few weeks before you start to see the changes. But if you do it consistently, sincerely, I promise you, I guarantee you will see big changes. You will experience so much healing. Your your life will become so much lighter, so much happier, so much freer. You'll know so much more peace. And the things that you want will come to you so much more easily. Because again, there's a connection there. If you're holding on to that negative stuff, no matter what domain it seems to be related to, and in your mind you say it is not related at all, it is. It just is. And just an important point here. This is not about saying that things that happened are great. Maybe that some things that happened are terrible. Maybe some people made some really bad choices. Maybe you made some really bad choices. But everything is forgivable. Everything. Doesn't mean you need to go be best friends with those people. It just means you cannot afford to hold on to that hurt anymore because it's just self-harm holding on to that. So you can and must forgive, let go, and bless and turn it over to the divine because it is the only way. Otherwise, you'll just continue to stay stuck. Again, I just want to be really clear. This is not about, you don't have to be best friends with the people. You don't have to say, oh, it's great what they did. You don't have to say what you did was great. If it was terrible, it was terrible. Okay. But just tell the truth. You don't want to hold on to that hurt any longer. It's like you are holding on you've tied yourself to a heavy stone and you're sinking to the bottom of the ocean. You need to cut that tie and release yourself, liberate yourself. It's the only way. Otherwise, you're going to just continue to be suffocating. So be willing to have the courage to let it go. And I'll add this: be willing when you turn it over to the divine. So the divine here, however you understand it, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me, but just accept this, to know that what I'm talking about is supreme good, supreme love, supreme intelligence. So you're just saying, look, this knows better than I do. I, meaning as my habitual limited identity, the habitual limited identity, which has been defined by all of these hurts, which has been defined by all of these grievances and resentments and so forth. So I'm turning it over to that greater intelligence, accepting that it knows exactly what is best for the greatest healing for all. And I surrender to that. I trust in that. I open to that. I allow that, because it can do anything, anything. And then allow it, allow it to bring that healing, because it will if you allow it. If you ask and you allow, it will. And but here's the thing: that willingness is so it requires so much honesty on your part. So be willing to be very honest. Again, because you want the healing, because you want to be done with the hurt, because you want to finally know the peace, freedom, happiness, harmony, love, and abundance that you're here to know, be, and have. I mean, it's just the truth, right? That's what you're here for. You're not here to suffer. So you can gift yourself that by being really deeply honest, turning it over to the divine. You ask, turn it over, and then be willing to receive. It just means then, when the opportunity presents itself, to open to the newness. When the newness is here, the newness is like, hey, here's genuine forgiveness. Like, your heart is being opened. Here's a fresh insight. Here's a fresh perspective. Here's a new way to see things. Here's a new memory. If you then go to no, well, guess what? Free will is operational always, so you get to do that, but you're only hurting yourself, right? Like, you've cut the tie to the sinking stone, and then you grab hold of it and tie it again. Don't do that. So the divine will answer your prayer if you ask sincerely, if you are willing to release, forgive, turn it over. Absolutely, it will be granted to you, but you have to be willing to accept it. And at that moment, just notice that hurt, that old hurt that says you should grab hold again, don't let go. And it will tell you, oh, you can't open to that because that would be wrong. You can't let go because that would be wrong. You have to hold on to this forever. Don't do it. Just let go, because you want to be free.